Marilyn Manson is suing Evan Rachel Wood and Ashley Omagor, alleging a conspiracy to cast him publicly as an offender. And according to these new legal filings, some of the evidence is fairly damning to both Evan, Ilma, and even the other accusers. Hi, my name is Lisa of the Manson Cases, and as you've probably figured out by now, I am not Colonel Kurtz. But for today, I have taken over and I have hacked her YouTube channel. So for now, you are forced to linger to my every word as I update you on some of these latest developments in this case. In today's video, I will be discussing some of the exhibits and evidence Marilyn Manson has filed in these new legal documents, since there is a court date coming up on December 1st in relation to the anti-SLAPP motions. And later, I will talk about Marilyn Manson and how these new filings are being reported on in the news. On November 15th, a slew of new filings were posted by Manson's legal team to challenge both Evan and Ilma's anti-SLAPP motions. For their part, Evan and Ilma are claiming First Amendment free speech protections on specific portions of Manson's lawsuit. Now, we have seen a more recent example of anti-SLAPP motions played out in the Depp v. Heard trial, where Amber was trying to claim protected free speech. However, the First Amendment does not protect against lies that amount to defamation, which is why Amber Heard lost her case. Some of the spicier new filings relate to a deposition from Ilma Gore and a new declaration from a computer forensics expert. The expert is the director of investigative services at a securities company. The declaration details going to Brighton Gore's residence on March 20th, 2022, and forensically acquiring the data stored on the broken iPad. This iPad was once owned by Ilma, and it is alleged she gifted this broken iPad to her sister Brighton and her daughters. In his declaration, he details the forensic collection of items on the iPad, which includes but is not limited to collecting SMS and MMS text messages, as well as iMessages. So why am I talking about a computer forensics expert if we can't see everything on the broken iPad yet? Well, because some of these documents are not sealed in these new filings, and they were included in Ilma's deposition in October. The first document I want to discuss is an image of a text message. The text details how there should be a, quote, protocol for reaching out to victims as it relates to joining the documentary, seemingly Phoenix Rising. The text includes what could be summarized as a step-by-step checklist on how to recruit alleged victims, going so far as to state in step 3, quote, I will fly anywhere. Is the text message significant? Well, it could be if you are Marilyn Manson trying to prove a conspiracy to recruit prospective accusers for a documentary about him. And it does show a plan with Evan and others to talk to alleged victims, even if the text does state there is no pressure to do so. Another document which could be significant is what looks like an Instagram message from Ilma Gore dated on September 30th and October 2nd, 2020. In the message, it appears Ilma is reaching out to someone and explaining how she runs the Phoenix Act nonprofit alongside Evan Rachel Wood. She then discusses the Groupie video in this same exchange. What I found significant from this message is not so much the recruiting aspect of it, which clearly seems evident to me, but it appears by Ilma's wording that the person on the receiving end of this message already knows about Groupie, because Ilma does not go on to explain what Groupie is or what the film is about. Instead, she explains it is an unreleased video because it includes an underage girl, and she states the FBI is involved and they are working with them on this, with Ilma going as far to state, quote, many more teens were, quote, subjected to abuse, lining up to Manson's claims of Ilma making defamatory statements and, I would even argue, continuing to show a coordinated effort. The next two documents of significance is an email and text message exchange between Ilma Gore and a person named Charlene. The email is for a Zoom meeting with Evan, Esme, and about, quote, 6 to 10 people that have similar or the same experience as you. The email states, quote, "The message is a personal and private invite from Evan, as it would be really powerful to have you there," end quote. A few days later, on October 19th, 2020, there is a text message between Ilma and this Charlene woman. In the text, Ilma lets Charlene know she emailed her information about Evan's meetup in October. In response, Charlene asks if there is a specific reason why they are avoiding saying Marilyn Manson's name in the email. Ilma states it is for the safety of the victims and then starts to discuss a federal investigation. To me, the possible significance of these two documents is not really the recruiting aspect so much as who the person is on the other end, because Manson's legal team purposely chose to not redact this person's first name in these documents. An actress named Charlene Yee came forward during the height of the Me Too movement and claimed Marilyn Manson harassed and made racist comments toward her. It was a highly publicized but largely unsubstantiated claim related to instances that allegedly occurred on the set of House years prior. On February 1st, 2021, the day Evan Rachel Wood and others made their accusations, she also posted on Instagram detailing her support for the victims. Is this the same Charlene? There's no way to really know for sure, at least not at this time. But it is worth noting the same name is spelled differently in both the text message versus the email. The next two documents relate to Ashley Walters, and I have to say they are quite the bombshell. As a quick refresher, Ashley Walters is a former employee of Marilyn Manson who also accused him publicly the same day as Evan Rachel Wood and later went on to sue him in court, which was later dismissed and is currently on appeal. In what appears to be a screenshot dated September 21st, 2020, it shows an email from Ashley Walters to someone else dated October 19th, 2010. The email includes Marilyn Manson's private login and password information. The next day, on September 22nd, 2020, there is a screenshot of a text message exchange from Ashley Walters and presumably Ilma Gore, discussing Manson's past logins and passwords for Facebook and his websites. The significance of these two documents show a coordinated effort between one of Manson's former employees, who, by the way, is also an accuser, and assuming this conversation is with Ilma Gore, essentially breaking the law. And even though the login and password information might be outdated, it does show that coordinated effort in an attempt to access Marilyn Manson's private accounts. Considering Marilyn Manson is suing Ilma and Evan with allegations of computer hacking and impersonation over the internet, I wonder what more evidence we can expect down the road. If that wasn't shocking enough, we also see text messages from another well-known accuser, Ashley Morgan Smithline. As a quick refresher, Ashley Morgan Smithline came forward along with Evan Rachel Wood. After her accusations were featured as a cover story in People magazine, she went on to sue Marilyn Manson, and the lawsuit is currently at a standstill today. In a series of text messages, we read what appears to be a draft of her public accusations for her Instagram post. The text message is dated January 31st, 2021 at 6:23 p.m., the night before the public accusations were made. What is significant about this is it appears to show a coordinated effort to make these public accusations together. And if you compare the text messages to the final Instagram post, it is also a more cleaned up version than her text. So here's my question. If there are text messages like this from Ashley Morgan Smithline to presumably Ilma Gore, are there other text messages like this we can expect in the future? If that wasn't interesting enough, there are a slew of screenshots related to the short film Groupie and the actress from the same film. In addition, there is a declaration from someone named Michelle Meyer, who, by the way, is the phone number on the alleged fake and forged FBI letter, tying some of this timeline together. There are 4 documents in this filing that are screenshots dated for September 25th, 2020. Some of the screenshots are from Groupie, the actress, and segments from Manson's 1998 film, Dead to the World. By October 11th, 2020, there are 2 screenshots which could be significant. The first screenshot is an overview of human trafficking directly from the FBI's website. The second screenshot is from a separate legal website detailing CP. So, what is the significance of all of this, and how does Michelle Meyer's declaration possibly tie any of this together? Well, to start, how did Ilma Gore first learn the name of the actress in Groupie? If you recall, Ilma says in an Instagram DM, quote, "I believe it is Jeanette in the video," end quote, which leads me to how this ties into Michelle Meyer's declaration. In early October 2020, Michelle details having conversations on the phone with Ilma Gore on October 2nd, 5th, and the 7th. In one of them, Ilma informs her about the film Groupie and makes claims the actress was underage, it was CP, and the girl unalived herself. She even goes as far to state, quote, "Gore talked to me about a film Warner made in the 1990s called Groupie. Gore told me the following. The girl in Groupie was underage. The girl was 16 years old when it was filmed. Warner knew the girl was underage. The girl did not consent to everything that happened during filming. The film was CP, and the girl had a hard time with what happened during filming, and the girl unalived herself. Gore stated that she talked to the girl's family members about the filming of Groupie and the girl's death. Gore said that even though Groupie has its own IMDb page, it doesn't credit the girl, and the girl's name was removed from the credits for everything she appeared in, such as Warner's Long Hard Road Out of Hell music video, so that when she was alive, no one would be able to find her and ask her about Groupie. Gore told me that Groupie contained evidence of felonies and Warner would be indicted." So we know sometime between September 30th and by one of these phone calls, Ilma learns the name of this actress. And by October 11th, 2020, Ilma saves a screenshot of the same actress from Marilyn Manson's music video, Long Hard Road Out of Hell. After doing a quick IMDb search, you can find 2 pages for a Polo Vice. So, how did Ilma know the actress was in one of Manson's music videos? Because the music video is not listed on her IMDb profile or in the second unrelated profile for that matter. Also, why was Ilma taking screenshots detailing what human trafficking was, and why does she save a screenshot of her the same day she saved those articles? Let me just say, this is likely not everything related to this. These are just some of my impressions based on these new filings. Last, there are 2 screenshots dated August 20th, 2021 and August 21st, 2021. The first appears to be a Google Maps photo of a random house, but it's actually a screenshot of Manson's former address. The second screenshot is the public records from the assessor's office detailing Marilyn Manson's former home address. This is significant because Marilyn Manson claims Ilma Gore swatted him, detailing the possibility she likely gave emergency services, or whomever she called, his direct address to go to. And likely, there is a lot more evidence we have not seen pertaining to this. In the past few days, Marilyn Manson has been making headlines due to these new filings, such as TMZ, Radar, the Daily Mail, and even Perez Hilton. The media is centering around a career in the gutter narrative. So while this is not new information to some of us, it is worth detailing some items mentioned in Marilyn Manson's declaration as a quick refresher. In Manson's declaration, he details suffering from severe emotional distress based on Evan and Ilma's conduct, and he has feared for the safety of his wife, Lindsay, which includes accusations of recruiting prospective accusers via the Groupie video he created in the 90s, where it's alleged Evan and Ilma has been claiming the video includes an underage actress and includes CP. Manson also details being the victim of a fake and forged FBI letter that Evan Rachel Wood distributed in family court proceedings and later was leaked to the media. Last, he details the emotional distress of being a victim of a swatting incident by both Evan and Ilma, where it's alleged Ilma, who has never met Marilyn Manson, called and reported an emergency at his home during the height of the public accusations. So there is one thing I want to leave you with in this video. In the second Pola Vice IMDb profile, it says something interesting. According to the IMDb profile, this Pola Vice, not the actual actress in Groupie, unalived herself in 1990.
Hi, everybody. Colonel Kurtz here. So I hope that you enjoyed that guest lecture by the Manson Cases. And I just want to say that she has been just invaluable to me, especially lately with the Manson stuff, because she gives me regular updates. And I'm not just talking about, if you go on to the Manson Cases Twitter or Instagram, you'll see regular updates. And I think that's one of the best places for people to go for regular updates on this case. But also personally, like keeping me updated and keeping some of the other commentators in this case updated. And so I get multiple texts and voicemails and all kinds of stuff every single day from her. Have you looked at this? Somebody said this online, et cetera, et cetera. So she really is very busy doing stuff for this case. And one of the things that she has done is she's provided very prompt legal documents. And so especially lately when these court filings come out, like the only reason that I was able to do that really prompt video the other day when those court filings dropped and I was able to put out a video within hours was because she immediately sent these documents to me. And, you know, those documents cost a couple $100s. And so it's like a couple $100 a pop when you have these court filings. I myself bought some several months ago. And I spent like, I think $175 on it. And that was just one set of filings. So anyway, my point is, if you have any extra change to throw at her way, the Manson Cases is worthy of that, I believe. And I just wanted to give her this space. So I've got her links below: PayPal, Cash App, all that stuff. If you can't do that or don't want to, that's totally fine, right? You can support her, though, by checking her out on Twitter, Instagram. She has a podcast that she does with Justice for Marilyn Manson. It's a good podcast. And then also she's putting up a website. So the Manson Cases, check her out. Links are below. I also want to recognize and continue to recognize the people who do great work in this situation. So I'm going to continue to tell people the first place they should go is Stand By Your Manson, because Stand By Your Manson on Instagram has the best damned handouts I've ever seen on this case or on other legal cases. They're great and very user-friendly, reader-friendly, or whatever. And I still go there regularly. So Stand By Your Manson on Instagram. Check them out. Then also Marilyn Manson Uncanceled, great website with tons of information. Also, he provides regular updates on Twitter and on Instagram about this case. I check his stuff every day. And then I also want to say that there are some great law tubers who've been doing some very impartial, open-minded, very fair work in regards to the legal stuff and the legal updates. Southern Law it provides regular updates on the Marilyn Manson situation. And as far as places to go on YouTube to have the legal stuff explained, that's where I go primarily. Legal Bites has also done several shows on Manson's defamation lawsuit, and very, very fair. And I appreciate her for taking a kind of a stand in that way, because actually she's neutral in the case, but she early on in the Johnny Depp trial was publicly saying that Manson deserved a fair hearing and he had his side of the story and all of that. And so I appreciate Legal Bites taking a stand there, because she did, in a way. And then also, of course, Andrea Burkhart, who's always going to be like my favorite legal commentator and, you know, my favorite law tuber, et cetera, and my, you know, one of my favorite guests and whatever, right? So she hasn't done something on Manson lately, but she's got a number of videos, and then a number on my channel too. If you check out my channel in the playlist with Andrea, we've got a number of Manson related videos. But subscribe to her channel. I think she will have Manson vids coming out as we get closer to trial, and maybe shortly. I don't know. And then let's see, I also want to recognize Eric Hunley and eHacker, who have done interesting videos on this topic. And of course, my friend Celtic Iron, who has a funny take on things, an edgy take on things, and a number of videos on the Manson case. I'll have them linked below. And then I also want to continue to recognize people that I know, you know, have had my issues with or differences with or whatever, but Kara Soper has done some great videos on Marilyn Manson stuff, and you should check them out. And then also I appreciate that Leslie Lane continues to stand up for Manson, as she has been doing certainly earlier than I was to this party. And of course, as far as someone who's been there from the very beginning, finally, Greta Aurora, the YouTuber. Okay, everybody, so check out all these people. They're all linked below, and I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving, or if you're not American, I hope that you have another, you know, I guess, satisfactorily mundane week in front of you. All right, bye, everybody.